Welcome to another video of our beloved Chelsea. An in-depth interview with Romeo Lavia from Chelsea's time out in the United States, where the midfielder opened up on his nightmare debut season, Eden Hazard relationship, and much more. But first, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and don't forget to like. Romeo Lavia paused for a moment, took a deep breath in, before revealing something clearly very close to his heart. "I get a lot of memories because we are a family of players," Lavia said when asked about how his parents would have to make sacrifices for he and his older brother to play football. "My older brother used to play football," the Belgian continued, during an interview in Charlotte, the final stop of Chelsea's preseason tour of the United States. "Back then, they would drive me in the morning to play my game and then drive my older brother. It was an hour and a half away, 2 hours with traffic. So they would drop him to play his game, sometimes away so it is far, and then come back to get me and then go back to watch the game. Looking at it, I'm really thankful because it's not easy. As a kid, you don't see it, you just feel like it's something parents have to do, but I'm really grateful." After meeting Lavia for the best part of half an hour, such gratefulness and humility really rubs off on you. There is undeniable confidence there, as there should be for a man who cost Chelsea £58 million almost a year ago to the day. "The interest from Liverpool was there, but in my head I wanted to play for Chelsea," Lavia said, finishing the sentence with a smile on his face. The 20-year-old almost gave a feeling that he wanted to say more on the transfer saga that, at one stage, looked as if he was Liverpool-bound. "I read a couple as well, and sometimes you knew more than me apparently," laughs. "Listen, when I heard about Chelsea, and it was from a long time ago before everything started, it was a no-brainer. Some stuff I was reading, I'm not going to say it was fake, but my decision was Chelsea. Why is Chelsea a no-brainer, though?" The Blues finished in 6th place last season after spending over £1 billion in recent transfer windows. The criticism from the outside, and even from their own supporters, has been vast and brutal. Lavia, though, is adamant he made the right decision. "There was plenty of interest from the Belgian from elsewhere, but a move to Stamford Bridge was too difficult to turn down. Because if you look at all the teams, Chelsea is the one that is growing," he said. "Even though the results are not going how the other teams are doing at the moment, you can see the bigger picture. When I saw a group of young and talented players that at their previous clubs had been the best players, it can only go well. Now I'm here, I realize it is true. It is a sentiment that is shared all across the club, especially with the young players that continue to flood in the doors at Stamford Bridge. The project is spoken about constantly, and there is a genuine belief from those inside that once it clicks, it will be difficult to stop them." Unfortunately for Lavia, he was unable to help out too much last season. The former Southampton midfielder was living out a nightmare debut campaign with Chelsea. He arrived in West London nursing an injury and suffered a setback to the problem in October. That meant it was not until December 28th of last year that Lavia made his debut for the club. Coming on for the final 29 minutes against Crystal Palace at Stamford Bridge, the midfielder was able to show glimpses, nothing more, of why he is so highly rated. It was always going to take time for him to get into the swing of things given his lengthy injury layoff. But then disaster struck. Unbeknown to us watching the game, Lavia left the pitch feeling a problem in his hamstring. Mauricio Pochettino informed reporters after the game but did not know anything on the severity of the issue. As the campaign reached its final 2 months, there was still no indication from the club that Lavia was nearing a comeback, and many started to fear we would not see him again for the remainder of the season. The club then released a statement at the end of March that put an end to a season that never got going for Lavia. "Very frustrating," Lavia said when asked how last season was for him on a personal level. "It was hard. You're young and you want to play. You're getting to know your body as well, which is sometimes unfair because you feel like you're doing everything right to get back, but the nature sometimes decides in a different way. It was just about understanding that and growing as a person." He continued, "Injuries can happen all the time. I'd say that it was unlucky, and I tried to catch up every time. My body let me down a couple of times because I was doing everything right. I wouldn't blame anything." One man that would have supported Lavia through what was a torrid time last season is Eden Hazard. The Belgian compatriot has kept in touch with Lavia ever since the two shared a phone call as part of the midfielder's announcement video when he completed his move to Chelsea in 2023. "He's a great guy and like a big brother," Lavia said with a beaming smile on his face about Chelsea icon Hazard. "Whenever I need advice, I go to him. You've all seen the video for the announcement, but apart from that, he told me to get to know the club, and then once you know more about the club, then you will love it. That will then make it easier on the pitch. And then he told me to be natural and be yourself and make Belgium proud." Rather ironically, if Lavia was to start on August 18th in Chelsea's Premier League opener, his full debut for the club would be against Manchester City. Lavia spent almost 2 years at City, where he spent a lot of time with the club's development squad, and coincidentally under Enzo Maresca, before leaving to join Southampton in 2022. Lavia may have himself a tiny advantage over the majority of his Chelsea teammates because he has spent time playing in the sort of style Maresca is implementing at Stamford Bridge. It is one he definitely feels comfortable in, but one he needs to continue to study. "I've played a little bit of that system before, but that was like 3 years ago, so he has added some differences to what I was used to when I was playing with him," Lavia said. "I feel comfortable in that system." The main headline for Sunday will be Pep Guardiola versus Maresca. Pep against another one of his disciples. But there are many subplots on the pitch, and Lavia against his former employers is certainly one of them.